Welcome back to Storytime with Angel. We are back with our last installment for our special series of Foolish Encounter anthology blogs. This excerpt today is from Tally Spencer. It's called Well Hello, Eight Eyes. And this was written from a prompt that Tally had submitted to the April Fool's event last year about a spider shifter, as you can probably guess from the Eight Eyes title. So we're going to go ahead and read this one today. It's a really fun story. I like this one a lot. And the blurb says, Tanner Adams takes a chance going out on Lake Michigan in the face of a November witch. Which, if you live on the lakes, you know is the possibility of a nasty storm coming up. When the fast-moving storm wrecks his boat, Tanner thinks he's a goner. He's surprised to find himself on a supposedly uninhabited island. The tight-lipped natives don't want him there, but he can't leave until the storm subsides. Cute islander Corey Bragg is friendly, at least. He offers Tanner a place to stay, and before long the two men find themselves in each other's arms. But why does Corey barricade the door, and why does nightfall bring it on a strange glow in Corey's eyes? All right. Well, Hello, Eight Eyes by Tally Spencer, and Tally's note here says the excerpt is wherein the title comes into focus. I think you'll understand. All right. An hour later, restless and feeling more than a little bit trapped by the tight dimensions of the single main room, that's Corey. No, I'm sorry, Tanner. That's Tanner. He looked out the windows and saw that the rain was letting up. It was barely a drizzle now. The prospect of fresh air and a look at his surroundings moved him to open the door and step into the narrow plank porch. He'd told Corey he would not leave the cabin, true, but the porch was part of the cabin, right? He immediately shivered. He'd come ashore without his coat and figured he must have shrugged out of it under water. That the weather had taken a cold turn, he felt bitterly. Though the gale had subsided, a brisk November wind whipped trees mostly stripped of autumn foliage. The sun dropped beneath the clouds and threw shadows across the porch and past a few low trees as it painted a bright exclamation point upon a choppy, watery horizon. Lake Michigan, and he was facing west, because that was the sunset. Unless he'd been magically transported across the thumb of door country and into Green Bay, he had to be on an island. He squinted through the trees to each side, but couldn't make out which direction would take him to town. At the edge of a wildflower-filled clearing to the north, he spied movement on a weathered split-log fence. Something big and rust-colored scuttled onto one of the posts and stopped there, positioning its hairy body atop a multitude of bristling legs. Another creature appeared to pursue it, alike with many legs, but displaying some kind of bizarre-colored shield upon its back. It was dancing on the fence rail, waving two or more legs at the first creature. Spiders? Hell no. No way spiders were as big as raccoons. The first spider crouched. The second one minced closer. A third one jumped up on another part of the fence, also flashing its colored appendage. Oh, fuck, they were huge! Tanner stepped back. A board beneath his heel creaked. The spiders froze. All three jumped in place, turning to face him with creepy legs and eyes as big as tennis balls. Heart hammering, Tanner looked around for something to throw. He saw only gardening tools. When he looked up again, the spiders must have run away. Garden rake in hand, he held his breath, watching for movement, but the yard was empty. The fence post was barely a gray marker against silhouetted trees as the sun sank low and blood rose. Light died on every side. "What are you doing?" Corey stood in the doorway. He wore the same shirt from the day before, the same worn jeans and battered boots, the same bemused, wide-eyed look of wonder. "Do you know you have big-ass spiders on this island?" Yes, this is Spider Island. You didn't hit one, did you?" The poor guy looked pale. "Never got the chance. They ran away. I guess I scared them off." "Damn, Corey, do those things get in the house?" "You should sit down. You look awfully shaky." "I guess it spooked me." Tanner hesitated about following Corey into the house. He hadn't answered the question about spiders getting in. "Tell me there are no spiders in there." Corey shook his head and gave him a reproving look. "None. There are no spiders in here, but now you know why I told you not to go outside." Tanner sighed, then put aside the rake before entering the cabin. I know you said not to leave the cabin, but I wanted to see if I could figure out where I was. Well, now you've seen. I just... A slight tremble of the mouth gave Corey more vulnerability than Tanner expected, and he felt like even more of a shit. I guess I should have been clearer about staying inside. Hey, you were as clear as can be. It's not you, all right? I push things. But I didn't cause any trouble. Hell, I didn't even kill one of those creepy spiders. All I did was go outside on the porch and took a look at the lake. At least his heart had slowed down. He just couldn't quite get the spiders out of his mind. At least now I know for sure I'm on an island. It's just, nothing's right about this place. You'll go home. You'll forget all about it. Seeing spiders the size of bulldogs? I don't think so. He sat on the sofa. And Spider Island? Seriously? The only Spider Island I know is a bunch of gravel and weeds. From behind horn-rimmed lenses, Corey's big eyes studied him, probably wondering why he was babbling. Tanner decided to move to the next topic. Are we going to town? You said this Jonas guy... Corey's plaid shoulders slumped. He didn't make it in. Lake was too rough, I guess. I hope he didn't get sunk. Wasn't there a radio in this place? Some way to communicate with the mainland? Maybe if we went to town I could... It wouldn't do any good. Corey looked genuinely sympathetic. Things are calming down, though. The witch is just passing by. Maybe tomorrow. Tanner blew out a sigh. He must have sounded dejected or something, because Corey cast him a smile. I'll throw some things in a sack. Then we can eat and drink. We'll get out of the house, and I'll show you more of the island. He grabbed some kind of canvas bag, and was soon sorting through the cabinet holding his food. It's getting dark. Actually, Tanner was thinking more about running into enormous spiders. I think we should stay indoors. And barricade the windows. It's perfectly safe, you'll see. Corey stood up with a bulging sack slung over his shoulder. He grabbed a jacket and handed Tanner a big woolen poncho. I don't have a coat your size, but you can use this. It's really warm. Shouldn't we have a stick or something? How about an axe or a gun, in case we meet dangerous animals? There aren't any dangerous animals on Spider Island. Just spiders with heads as big as his and long, horrible legs. Did the damn things weave webs? Live off catching squirrels and stray cats? Alrighty. And that's our excerpt from Spider Island. So, well, Hello, Eight Eyes by Tally Spencer. And that is going to be our last of our excerpt series from the Foolish Counters anthology. It's a really fun anthology, lots of interesting stories in there. Like I had said in our first excerpt reading, there are 4 science fiction pieces, 2 of them humorous, 2 of them a little bit more serious, 2 contemporary pieces, and this really fun fantasy from Tally Spencer. So give it a look if you have a chance, and we will see you next week with a couple of more excerpts. That's it for today's story time. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening.